pregnancy. Maybe it was the messy end of yet another relationship Ella had warned her from the get-go was doomed to failure. But Mary was determined to visit Sanctuary Island and reconnect with the mother they hadn't seen since their parents' long-overdue divorce 15 years ago. Personally, Ella could think of plenty of things she'd rather do than plan a trip to some godforsaken island completely cut off from civilization to visit a woman who'd cared more about her next drink than fighting to keep custody of her young daughters. But if Mary was going, then so was Ella. The past was the past, and Ella was completely over it. She'd make sure Mary got over this when it inevitably imploded too. Protecting her reckless, impulsive baby sister while Mary barreled forward with one of her harebrained ideas was an ingrained, lifelong habit. The past was the past, but some things never changed. Clutching the scarred, pitted wooden railing, Ella climbed the stairs to the upper deck. After the stale, gasoline-drenched air of the parking deck, the first breath of fresh, salt-sparkling ocean breeze buoyed her spirits. Ella paused at the top of the staircase and inhaled deeply, lifting her face to catch a thin ray of chill spring sunlight. "Ella! Over here!" Ella opened her eyes to see her sister waving at her with both arms, her roundly pregnant bulk propped against the rail on the far side of the boat. "Hold on," Ella instructed as the ferry jounced over the choppy waters of the Atlantic. "I don't know where the life preservers are if you go pitching over the side." Mary flapped one dismissive hand, but obediently gripped the railing by her hip. "Psh! There's no flotation device in the world big enough to fit me these days. Besides, you know you'd jump in after me and tow me to safety." Ella had to acknowledge that this was probably true, even though she wasn't a strong swimmer. But if Mary went overboard, Ella would too. That was the way it had always been. "Let's skip it, huh?" Ella reached her sister and curled an arm around Mary's shoulders, bracing them both. A near-death by drowning incident would really throw off my schedule. "It's a vacation, Ella." Mary sighed in the long-suffering way she'd perfected as a teenager. "You're not supposed to have a schedule." "The unscheduled life is not worth living," Ella quipped. But she kind of meant it. In her experience, surprises were vastly overrated. Let other people expect the unexpected. Ella would take boring predictability any day of the week. They stared out over the water at the strip of tree-lined shore in the distance. Their mother had moved to Sanctuary Island after her husband walked out and took their daughters with him. Ella and Mary had never seen the island in person, only in the pictures Joellen included in the letters she'd sent them every week since she got out of rehab. Ella shivered, a chill racing over her skin. Just the wind, she told herself, and discreetly spat out one of Mary's loose curls. Ella's hair was pulled back into a sensible knot, which the wind was doing its best to unravel. Beneath Ella's sheltering arm, Mary felt small, almost fragile, delicate in spite of the pumpkin-sized bulge of her belly stretching out her lipstick-red t-shirt. The need to be strong for her sister stiffened Ella's spine. There, that was much better than contemplating the uncertainty ahead. Whatever happened with Joellen, the #1 priority for this particular plan was that Ella would be there for Mary. Sweet, sunny, all too trusting Mary, who squirmed in a familiar restless dance, faux leather leggings squeaking. "Again?" Ella pitched her voice to be heard over the breeze and the incessant clanking of the engine. "Really? You try standing around with a watermelon constantly pressing down on your bladder, then come talk to me. No thanks." Ella tried, but she couldn't completely erase the fervor from her voice. Not that she never wanted to have kids, but to be in Mary's situation...